Hello and welcome back to the Dr. Spice Collection, the ultimate destination for deep dives into rare and iconic Spice Girls memorabilia. In this video, we're stepping into the time machine to explore 5 of the most legendary items ever produced in Spice Girls history. Selecting just 5 wasn't easy. The Spice Girls defined an era, leaving behind a dazzling legacy of hit records, bold merchandise, and unforgettable photo shoots, many of which were immortalized in posters and glossy magazine covers. But today's selection captures the heart of Spice-mania in its purest form. As you watch, I'd love to know what you consider the most iconic Spice Girls items. Drop your favorites in the comments. Your picks might even feature in a future video. So, ready to journey back to the peak of 90s pop culture? We start with something that perfectly encapsulates the summer of 1998, a moment frozen just before Geri Halliwell's shocking departure from the group. It's the home video release of Spiceworld, the movie, which arrived in UK shops and rental stores on the 25th of May 1998. What made this VHS release truly special wasn't just the film, it was the limited edition collectible tins, with one designed for each member of the group. I vividly remember heading to Woolworths in Leeds and choosing the Mel B tin. An easy choice for any true Scary Spice fan. Inside was a bold, bright green VHS tape. Stylish, distinctive, and totally on brand for the group who were now entering their 3rd year of global domination. These tins weren't just packaging, they were pop artifacts. To promote the release, fans could enter competitions for meet and greets, concert tickets, and free copies of the film. Stores were adorned with flyers, standees, and vibrant promotional materials, while pop magazines ran double-page ads celebrating the launch. And did you know? There was even a group edition tin, now a rare and sought-after collector's piece. Whether you owned one or dreamed of collecting them all, these VHS tins are a nostalgic window into the height of Spice Girls mania, and a must-have for any serious 90s memorabilia collection. What are your memories of these tins? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Number 4 is their most iconic magazine feature. July 1997's Rolling Stone. An honor for a music act to be asked to appear on the front of this legendary magazine. The images themselves often become a benchmark of each artist's career, marking them as a serious global success story. In the case of the Spice Girls, their cover is no exception. Dressed in striking black leather, looking sexy and packed with attitude, the text declares Spice Girls conquer the world. It's breathtaking to see the group look so good and so spicy. Geri's big American hair, Victoria's trademark pout, Emma's messy pigtails, Mel C's sassy pose, and Mel B's roar are accompanied by the pink magazine title, all contributing to an eye-catching image that projects confident female energy. A truly defining moment in their career, and they'd only released one album. Writer Chris Heath, who had spent 3 weeks with them at the start of 1997 for their The Face feature, kicks off the article inside with Mel B giving him a clump of her knotted hair. Victoria soon follows with a single strand of her own. One can only guess how much those DNA samples would be worth today. Heath goes on to reintroduce each girl, detailing the professions of all their parents and describing Victoria's family as rich. Back in the United States, where Say You'll Be There is the current single, Heath once again was allowed access to follow the band during their promotional duties. It is the 14th of May, 1997, and the band are appearing on TV shows such as The Rosie O'Donnell Show. As with his The Face feature, Heath talks in depth about the band's success and cultural influence. He highlights the press attention they receive, 141 newspaper articles in 1 week. Interestingly, Heath's shadowing of the group takes him to their first web chat experience where the girls try to get to grips with the internet, leading to some quite cute and funny quotes. Bob Herbert is given a phone call for a little background information on the formation of the band they were before Spice, before the topic of the article moves on to sex. All in all, it's a wonderful insight into the Spice Girls. Emma swears regularly, and her secret writing during a press conference is the level of naughty baby we never knew we needed. Their honesty and spontaneity combined with the black leather and baseball-themed photo shoots with photographer Mark Seliger make this the perfect summary of Spice. Real, down-to-earth, and shockingly funny. The girls appear to be very open and relaxed with this writer, even making a joke of the early attempts to add an extra year on to their life as a band. Their early publications note that they all met in 1993 when it was actually 1994. I think it's safe to say Chris Heath is definitely a Spice boy, and between him and Seliger, this issue of Rolling Stone magazine was made perfectly. At 3, it's a poster, but not just any poster. This is the most iconic poster in the entire collection, and trust me when I say the Dr. Spice collection has a lot of posters. Photographed in the summer of 1997 by Christoph Gestalter. This shoot was used primarily on the American publicity for Spiceworld the movie, or simply Spiceworld as it was named over there. The glistening, sparkly Union Jack backdrop is the perfect, bold, and exciting accompaniment to the girls' powerful, energetic group pose. With the European and Australian movie publicity using a different shoot of the group, fans could find this design on the poster included in issue 5 of their official magazine publication, Spice, released in early 1998. I think it's absolutely perfect, and trust me, this hung on my wall brightening up my bedroom for years. My collection also includes another version of the poster, the actual promotional poster used for the movie in the United States, which features the movie's American logo. The Spice magazine version features the magazine's logo, which is the original Spice logo from the wannabe single cover in Europe. The magazine version also features another iconic image of the group on the alternate side, giving fans the option of which side to display. The alternate side shows the group photographed at their YM magazine shoot with photographer Jesse Froman in May 1997, which became better known as the shoot that provided artwork for the group's March 1998 single Stop. The group held these images back from that shoot for months, eventually releasing this poster in early 1998 and the Stop single artwork shortly after. The Gestalter movie publicity shoot may have occurred on the same day as the movie's first trailer was filmed. A taste of the girls' humor and performance skills that was more of an announcement for the movie, rather than a traditional trailer, as none of that footage ended up in the movie itself. The girls are wearing the same clothes as in the Gestalter shoot, so it's fair to assume it was all created on the same day. This shoot was more recently used on the group's Royal Mail Stamps range in 2024, a collection of Spice Girls themed stamps and associated memorabilia that marked 30 years since the group's formation. The girls then used silhouettes from this shoot on their Summer 2024 and Winter 2024 official merchandise ranges, available from their website. Whatever version you might have, this poster is truly iconic, and that's why it lands at 3 on my top 5 countdown. But what do you think? Is there a more iconic poster that might make your top 5? Let me know in the video comments. In the landscape of 1990s pop culture, few phenomena were as seismic or as collectible as the Spice Girls. In late 1997, that influence crystallized into plastic and vinyl. when toymaker Galoob unveiled the very first officially licensed Spice Girls dolls. Known as the Girl Power range, these figures did more than top toy charts, they made history. TV presenter Judy Finnegan predicted them in October 1996.
You'll be having Barbie dolls with you next.
But the Girl Power dolls weren't introduced to industry insiders until a year later. At a toy fair in October 1997, the anticipation was immediate. No girl band, indeed no celebrity act, had ever been merchandised on this scale in doll form.
The Spice Girls themselves are a phenomenon. They're a real hit, and a doll in their likeness is going to be a collector's item for the kids, and I'm sure the kids are going to want them, both boys and girls.
Each doll was carefully designed to reflect the distinctive identity of its real-life counterpart. Scary, sporty, baby, ginger, and posh. From Mel B's bold leopard print to Victoria's sleek black dress, every outfit, accessory, and hairstyle was chosen to capture the Spice Girls' unique personalities and their global girl power message. These weren't just toys, they were miniature fashion and pop culture time capsules. By the end of 1999, 11 official ranges of Spice Girls dolls had been released, but it's the original Girl Power range that remains iconic. Despite being unveiled in October, the Girl Power range didn't reach store shelves until Christmas 1997. When they finally did, demand was nothing short of explosive. Retailers across the UK, the US, and beyond reported immediate sellouts. Parents queued for hours. Some shops imposed purchase limits. Others ran out of stock within days. And yet some reports suggested sales were dwindling. For many children that year, nothing said Christmas like finding a Spice Girl under the tree. And for the toy industry, Galoob's strategy had paid off. The dolls not only capitalized on Spice Girls mania, they reignited interest in celebrity dolls as a viable, lucrative product category. The Girl Power dolls were approximately 12 inches tall, with articulated limbs, rooted hair, and custom-molded faces that bore a stylized but recognizable resemblance to each member of the group. The packaging was bold and unmistakably 90s, bright colors against a white base, with fun facts on the back and, of course, the iconic Spice Girls logo. But beyond their aesthetic appeal, these dolls held a cultural weight. They embodied a message of individuality, friendship, and empowerment, values that resonated with a generation. Each doll became more than just a plaything. It became a statement of identity for countless young fans around the world. The Girl Power dolls marked the beginning of an extraordinary merchandising journey. Over the next few years, Galoob, later acquired by Hasbro, released a total of 9 different Spice Girls doll lines. These included concert editions, Spice It Up sets, and even a Toys R Us exclusive box set featuring all 5 dolls together. These ranges became the best-selling celebrity dolls of all time. The Girl Power range remains particularly prized among collectors, not only for being the inaugural release, but for its role in kickstarting this unprecedented doll empire. Mint-condition dolls in original packaging continue to command high prices on secondary markets, and they are frequently showcased in toy museums, fashion exhibitions, and retrospectives on 1990s pop culture. Over 2 decades on, the girl power dolls remain a powerful reminder of a cultural moment, when 5 women redefined fame, friendship, and female empowerment. Encased in plastic, yes, but also embedded in memory. They weren't just dolls, they were icons. Visitors to Victoria Beckham's store in London may see one of these dolls around Christmas time, as Victoria likes to use her original girl power doll as a decoration. I'll reveal my #1 most iconic Spice Girls item in just a moment, but first, let's take a quick look at the items we've seen so far. At 5, it was the Spiceworld, the movie limited edition VHS tins. At 4, we saw their most iconic magazine feature, July 1997's issue of Rolling Stone. At 3, it was the Union Jack poster, and that instantly recognizable Spiceworld, the movie photo shoot. And at 2, we saw the original Spice Girls dolls by Galoob. And now the moment you've been waiting for. What is the most iconic Spice Girls item? Did you have a guess? Of course, it's that iconic debut album Spice, released in the UK on the 4th of November 1996. It topped the charts in 17 countries, including the USA, and having sold over an estimated 25 million copies, remains the biggest-selling girl group album in history. As if these stats weren't enough, let's take a closer look at why this album is the most iconic Spice Girls item. A common misconception about the Spice Girls is that they were all about marketing and brands, but didn't have the musical talent to back up their money-making ventures. Perhaps the level of Spice Girls branded products, particularly towards the end of 1997, perpetuated this idea. If you weren't a fan who knew the real story, it is possible to think this was a money-grabbing scheme that exploited their mostly young fanbase. As a fan myself, walking into supermarkets at the height of Spice-mania, especially Asda, filled me with joy. The group's personality resonated through their branding, so every item was and remains positivity, escapism, and that spice magic in a bottle. We were buying their positive attitude and fun approach to life. It was infectious, but it wasn't unhealthy. And had they not had the great music to back up their numerous brand deals, it would have felt vacuous and opportunistic. Of course, to their management and the brands involved, it was an opportunity. A chance to make money from the phenomenon of the Spice Girls. But if it also made fans happy, why not? The album itself even included a merchandise order form, a capsule collection of 15 items. Also available from Virgin Megastore shops, this gave fans the chance to own an early piece of official memorabilia. These nostalgic classic items have become highly collectible and hard to find. The 1997 official calendar is especially tricky to track down and sells for up to 10 times its original price. I have most of these items, but there are still a few I'd like to find. And underlying all of this was the music. Incredible music that was catchy, well-produced, distinctive, and packed with personality. With few exceptions, their songs had deep meanings which showed a maturity in their songwriting abilities, harnessed beautifully by their producers. On this album, the group worked with 3 sets of writer-producers to create the 10 tracks that are featured. Their debut smash, a #1 for 7 weeks monster of a hit single Wannabe, was co-written with Richard Biff Stannard and Matt Rowe, who also co-wrote To Become One and Mama. For Say You'll Be There, the co-writing talents of Elliot Kennedy were used to great effect, and for Who Do You Think You Are? The Spice Girls teamed up with production duo Absolute. The album's other 5 tracks were also created with these teams. It's somewhat eclectic, and yet the group's personalities, which are incredibly present in their recordings, keep it all within that distinguishable Spice Girls vibe. The album's commercial success aside, it is amazing how well known the album tracks are, even those which were not singles. This is a sign of a fantastic and iconic record, and it's my belief that Spice is the best Spice Girls album. What makes it the best for me is perhaps its rawness. The group were not influenced by success or fame or making a record that needed to be as good as their last one. It's energetic, strong, melodic, and edgy. Edgy is not a word often used to describe the Spice Girls, but the album's non-single tracks like Naked or If You Can't Dance really set them aside from being just another pop act. I put this down to being mostly unmanufactured. Unlike bands like Take That and Boyzone, the Spice Girls had taken charge of their own work early on, setting boundaries for themselves as artists who create music, not industry puppets given songs or persuaded to do things a certain standard way by management. Spice was disco, R&B, soul, and hip-hop, all sprinkled on top of their pop foundation. They were pop, but pure pop? I'd argue not. The album's classic tracks were accompanied by iconic artwork. The sleeve features photography of the band by Kunihiro Takuma. Each girl features in one letter of the word Spice, a clear marketing idea and part of the reason the group chose their name. This logo became one of the most iconic and heavily used in music history. Countless merchandise items and brand products featured this logo, and it is still used today on the group's official nostalgic merchandise. Designed by Michael Nash Associates, it's classy but sassy, a 90s vibe that encapsulates the group's energy perfectly. Inside the sleeve we get their mantra, their ethos, their manifesto. This was, after all, a movement in female empowerment, not just an adventure in music. These stunning portraits of the group from the Takuma photoshoot alongside their song lyrics give you all the 90s nostalgia feels you could wish for, and I recall staring at them for hours whilst listening to the CD at 12 years old. Spice is definitely one of pop's most recognizable and iconic albums. I believe it rightfully deserves its place at the top of my iconic countdown, but what do you think? Have your say in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. Loads more videos from my collection are available on my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to see more and get your Spice fix. See you next time. Stay spicy.